But before I do this, I'd like to thank the organizers for this conference and actually for this splendid initiative. And I've been really enthusiastic about it from the very first day, because I feel like, I think many of you, that this is exactly what we needed, what we need here in Donetsk and in the whole region. How do I see Donetsk? How do I see Donbass? There's of course a lot of things to say. I will be brief. It's not what you expect. This is also what every guest of mine coming here from Germany is telling me. It's not fitting into the stereotypes we normally have in Western Europe. But then it's not so easy. If you leave, for example, the city center of Donetsk, you can find areas which fully match the stereotypes we sometimes have. Therefore, I would like to say Donetsk and the region, they are fulfilling stereotypes, and at the same time they're not fulfilling them. And this is sort of actually very much what characterizes, I think, the region. It's the contradictions. The contradictions, for example, if I look out of my office, I see the splendid new stadium, 21st century architecture, but I also see abandoned pithead frames in the far distance. So this gives you an impression of, I think, what Donetsk is, and of the enormous contradictions in this city and in the whole region. There's one more observation. This is a post-Soviet city and region, and it's probably more post-Soviet than Kiev and the west of Ukraine, to be frank. But then it's also very American, because it's very young, it's very dynamic, and it's in a way very, very open, and in a way also a bit wilder than the rest of Ukraine maybe. And I think also in this context, we are looking forward to see how this is going to be reflected in the work of IZOLYATSIA. If I look at contemporary cultural life and art here, I'll be modest. I haven't been sort of in touch. I haven't been visiting everything which is here, which is actually quite a lot. But I think you will agree with me that what we see here normally is standard sort of post-1991 cultural life, ballet, which is very good, opera, theater, museums, but everything is very much standard. Efforts have been made and focused on trying to preserve what has been here 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and in many cases it has been preserved and also developed, but it has not developed, it has not kept the pace of the transformation that has been going on. So we have a gap here, I think, a gap between contemporary cultural life in the city and in the region and the transformations that have taken place. And this gap needs to be filled. It cries for being filled in a way. The gap, to some extent, has been filled by football. It's the stadium, it's everything around Shakhtar, which gives this city and the region a very strong identity, and which are also a very strong interface, maybe the strongest interface of the region at all at present, to the outside world, with European football clubs coming in. Football is it's an international language, as we all know, and Donetsk speaks this international language, and I think this is very good. But it can't be all. We need more, and again, this is where I think IZOLYATSIA has a fantastic chance to play its role. What is needed is to reassure, especially the young people, of who they are, where they're going to, in a cultural sense. And I'm glad we have some guests here from European countries, also from Germany, from my own country. We have similar experiences in Germany, in the rural area. I myself am an industrial city and have been living through the transformations over the last 30 years in my hometown, where we had sort of factories in the city center now. There are also cultural centers, shopping centers sometimes. But change is very sort of topical, and you can feel it in the architecture. Maybe a final word on the importance of contemporary art and contemporary cultural life. I think only a cultural life, art which is really contemporary, makes it possible for a region, for people to liaise with other cultures and other countries. Also in that context, I think the Ruhr area and what is happening there is a good example. There were stereotypes also abroad. There were not so many international links and contacts, and now Ruhr has become a focus of international attention with its museums, which is with its architecture, etc. So if this region wants to reach out to the outside world, to the international world, it's exactly through these means that this is possible. And I may dare to say something provocative. Of course, post-Soviet culture art is something which on the surface connects you to other countries in this area, but it's the surface only. To be sort of really in a position to link up to the outside world, to whatever country, you need really to develop your own contemporary art, architecture, and cultural life. And sometimes, and with this I would like to close, the effects are really astonishing. We have a singer, a famous singer from the Ruhr area in Germany, Herbert Grönemeyer. He has been sort of a local hero in Western Germany for sort of his songs, his sort of songs which very much express the feeling of this Ruhr area. And now, 2 weeks ago, I learned that he's done the music for the new film An American, completely different from Ruhr, but shows how sort of art sort of coming out from a region can suddenly become very international and link up without problems to Hollywood in this case. Thank you very much.